What's going on, everyone? LA Sports back with another video. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the New York Giants and the chance that they have to draft David Ojabo, the edge rusher out of Michigan, in the second round. David Ojabo, a guy who's an unbelievable pass rusher, in my opinion, and was really overlooked at Michigan because of Aiden Hutchinson, just like I said the same thing about Quincy Roche last year coming out of Miami. I think David Ojabo is a stud edge rusher whose projection at the, just after the NFL season, he was projected, some people even had him going to the Giants at 7. He was projected to be a first-round pick, obviously, probably about a top 15 pick. And then about a month ago, he unfortunately suffered a torn Achilles. So a very heartbreaking injury for him, obviously, as the draft was around the corner. The 21-year-old was looking forward to the draft, and it's such a tough, injury. At the time that the injury happened, there were reports, take in that it was a month ago that the injury was reported. They also reported that it was going to be Ojabo missing 6 months. So fast forward to now, a month later, you take a look at 5 months from now. That is September, about the late part of September, but it says could miss 6 months. So you would think that that's probably one of the worst case scenarios. So I could see Ojabo be back at the beginning of the year, depending on, I don't really know his injury history, but regardless, I think Ojabo is a fantastic player, and I think, realistically, if you're just going to miss 3 weeks of the season, there's no reason for the Giants not to take him in round number 2. Of course, there's going to be people that have doubts with the injuries, of course, because that's just, you don't love to draft players with a crazy injury history. So obviously, it would be nice to get guys that have a clean injury history. But I think if Ojabo is only going to miss 3 weeks of the season, I think it could certainly make sense for the 6'5", 250-pound edge rusher out of Michigan. Of course, take a look at his stats last season in 2021. When he actually played, he was unbelievable. He had 11 sacks and 5 forced fumbles, 1 fumble recovery. He had 3 passes defended. So he's obviously, little bit. He could play a little bit in coverage. Not that the Giants are really going to ask him to, because if they do draft him, he's going to go on the other side of Azeez Ojulari. This is, of course, assuming the Giants don't go with the edge rusher spot in the first round. So they could go David Ojabo if they go offensive tackle and cornerback, or offensive tackle and I don't know, any other position. It seems like it's going to be edge and offensive line, or offensive line and corner. So we'll see how it goes, but I think Ojabo could definitely be in play in the second round. We're starting to see some players that, and honestly, some of my personal favorites, if you go back to January or February, some of my personal favorites in the draft on the defensive side of the ball, falling back draft boards. That is Derek Stingley Jr. He's fallen back a little bit, and I really like Stingley out of LSU. I also really like David Ojabo for the reasons I listed at the beginning of the video. I think he was really overshadowed at Michigan by the number 1 prospect in. A lot of people view it as the number 1 prospect in the country this year. Of course, Aiden Hutchinson, and then Nakobe Dean's another one. He interests me a lot. I'm going to have a video on him very soon, and the possibility of him falling to the second round as well to the Giants. I'm not banking on these guys falling to round 2. More so David Ojabo. I'm not banking on Nakobe Dean falling to round 2. But if the Giants go with, my personal favorite would be for the Giants to get an offensive lineman, preferably Ekwonu or Neal, and Kayvon Thibodeaux. I know that's, if I'm picking a realistic dream scenario right now, if you ask me right now, there's 2 scenarios. That is getting Evan Neal or Ike Ekwonu, getting Kayvon Thibodeaux, and then getting Nakobe Dean. That's the first dream scenario. The next one is taking, of course, taking either Neal or Aquanu, same thing, and Stingley or Sauce Gardner, and then going David Ojabo in round 2. That, for me, would be very good. You attack 3 very important needs to this football team with the first 3 picks of the draft. But overall, do I think Ojabo is going to make it to round 2? Yes, I do. Should the Giants get him at that spot? I think so, at pick number 36. I think it makes a ton of sense. I really do. Especially, if the Giants go edge rusher in the first round, this completely wipes out this possibility. I don't think the Giants go with 2 edge rushers in the first 3 picks. I really don't. Although it would give Wink Martindale a ton of weapons to use, I just don't see it happening. There's too many needs on the roster. It's the same reason I don't see the Giants going with 2 offensive linemen in the first round. So I really do believe that this is a possibility. That is if the Giants don't go with an edge rusher in round number 1. But I really love David Ojabo. You guys let me know down below in the comment section your thoughts on David Ojabo. If he falls to the second round to the Giants at 36 overall, would you want to take him? Personally, if they did not go with an edge rusher in the first round, yes, I would want David Ojabo. Of course, depending on who's on the board, but if we, base it off of the, last few mock drafts, then yes, I would want David Ojabo. But like I said, you guys let me know down in the comment section your thoughts on the video. Leave everything down below in the comment section. And as always, please leave a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel if you guys are new. We'll see you guys on the next video. Let's go.